everyone, Amanda here. So every year I say I don't have time to make Christmas cards. So in today's video, we're going to try and make a Christmas card in under 10 minutes. Let's see if we can do it. So you're going to start with 3 pieces of cardstock. I make cards 5x7 because that's the standard card size. In my country, you can just adjust the sizes slightly to suit yourself. So the main piece here measures 10.5 by 5 inches. Okay. The second piece measures 5x7 and the third piece is 8.5 by 3.25. So we're going to take the larger piece, which is the 10.5 by 5, and we are going to score it along the 10.5 inch side at 2.5, 5, this is inches, 5, 7.5, and 10. Okay, bob that to one side. So your 5x7 inch size, just leave that on top, we don't need to score that. And your 8.5 by 3.25, put in at the 8.5 inch side, and we're going to score along there at 4.25. So that's all of our scoring done. We can move the cutter away, and I'm just going to bring in a burnishing tool. So I'm going to fold and burnish this small piece first. Then we're going to bring in the longer piece. So we're going to mountain valley fold here. Okay. So the first one here needs to go. So you've got your 1/2 inch. Just ignore that for now. We're going to, the next one we're going to fold over. The next one fold towards yourself. And have I done that right? I might have done this wrong. Let me just think. Let me just think. No, I've done that wrong. It wants to go the other way. Just do it the other way. So you've got a W, okay? Is that right? W. I'm just looking at my sample. Yeah, it's a W. So this 1/2 inch here, you can fold inwards. Okay? So we fold in from here, up, down, up, down. Okay? So you've got that. I always fold it the wrong way. So what we're going to do now is on here, I'm just going to ever so slightly miter, just to make sure it doesn't protrude over the top of my card if I don't get it perfectly straight. I'm not doing a full miter, I'm just nipping the corners off. Okay, I'm not going all the way down to the scoreboard, to the score line. Then I'm going to add some glue on this section here, aiming for the middle so that I don't end up with it splodging over that score line. Okay. And I'm going to grab the 5x7, and along the 5 inch there, we're going to join these together. So you want to line it up as straight as you can, up to the score line, so it's just kissing it, not over it, and certainly not on it. You want that to be able to fold. Okay. Wipe away any excess glue. Lift it up, and you might be able to just shimmy it down a little bit further, but you want that to fold nicely. Okay. Give that a burnish. Okay, turn it over, give that a burnish. Okay, so I'm going to turn it over. And on the back here, I'm going to mat with just paper. Okay, this is from my Winter Whispers collection, in case you're interested. I will link it in the description box below. So this piece that we're going to mat measures 5x7, so all you do is cut it down 1/4 inch shorter on the width and on the height. So for this 5x7 section, that means we're cutting it to 4 3/4 that way by 6 3/4 that way. And then when you mat it there, you've just got that lovely border all the way around. Okay, and then these little sections are all the same. You've got 4 of them. Okay, and these measure 5 by 2.5. So your paper wants to be 4 3/4 by 2.25. So let's get these on. Super simple, super fast. Now I'm doing the back in just paper. When I do the front, I'm going to use silver foiled card. I'm not doing that on the back because, you know, I don't want to waste. Nobody's going to see the back. You can use the back to write your message, but nobody will see the back. But we're not going to leave it plain. Black card, you know, that's like ironing a shirt and not ironing the sleeves because they will be under your jacket. We don't do that. And, you know, because I'm using digitals, I can be very, very generous with the paper layers because I can just print them out again. Whereas the foil card, I can be a little bit frugal because that's more expensive. Okay. Okay. And you can mass make these. You can do all of your bases, get them all scored, and then you can cut all of your papers and you can set up a little factory line, assembly line, and you can, if you make them all more or less the same, it will take the headache away. And I've given you all of the sizes. So there we've decorated the back. So let's move to the front. Okay. You would ideally wait for everything to dry, but I don't have time. Right, so I have pre-matted mine because I'm cheating. I said we'd do a card in under 10 minutes. I'm cheating a little bit. So for this section here, again, you go down 1/4 inch with your silver foil card. So that is a 5x7. So you're going down to 6 3/4 by 4 3/4. And then with your paper layers, you just go down another 1/4 inch. I've got a bit fancy here and I've done 2. That's because I'm using up my scraps. That's the other joy of digitals. You know, if I have any scraps, I can make my cards out of them. I can use them in my folios. Nothing goes to waste. And so I've just done 2 little panels. One measures, that's 2 3/4 by 4 1/2, and that one is 3 and about 5/8 by the same height. So all I have to do now is layer this on. Okay. You can use tape if you want. Sadly, most people throw cards away. They don't save them, so don't worry about using your cheap tape on your cards. But no cheap tape on anything else, please. Okay, I do prefer glue because then you have got time to get that lovely and straight. Okay, so then these, again, you've got 4 the same. All right, so 1/4 inch down. So with your mirror card, 2 1/4 by 4 3/4. Paper layer, 2 by, it'll be 4 1/2, yep. And you want 4 of them. So get those down. Nobody's got an excuse, including me, to say they don't have time to make handmade Christmas cards, because if you can just follow a tutorial like this, get the basic idea and just make everybody more or less the same card. If you take a look at my digital collections, I put loads of paper layers in, so you've got lots of matting options. And all of the images with the papers, I shrink them down 2 to a page to make everything smaller, which is perfect for cards. Absolutely perfect. Far cheaper than scrapbooking paper. And if you cut it wrong, you can just print another one out. Because believe you me, I cut things wrong all of the time. All the time. You ask my members when I do the private videos and I'm trying to be more relaxed, I end up cutting things wrong. All of the time. But it doesn't matter. Just print another one out. Okay. Take your time to line these up nicely. And the joy of this, doing this pattern background, is it's non-directional, so it doesn't matter which way you cut it. And it doesn't matter if the pattern's not lined up exactly, because it's a busy kind of a plaid pattern. So, you know, it doesn't matter if it's not exact. All right. So that is giving us that beautiful card already. Okay, so let's finish it off with these 2 parts. So your final part that we folded and scored, okay, we're going to mat these 2 pieces on, and I've picked these beauties. All right, so fold it outwards and put in this lovely bird on here on first, and then the second one is like a wintry Christmassy church. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful papers. Whoever made them must just be real genius. It was me, I made them. I most certainly am not a genius. Okay, 1 second. I'm back. Sorry about that, the doorbell went. So we're adding some glue on here. Get that one on. Get it nice and central. So you've got a nice even border all the way around. Okay, and then all you have to do, bring this over where you've got these 4 panels. We're going to have a little look. Okay, and you want this fold of this one lined up in the centre of there. And you want that, you can have it where you want. You could have it down there, you could have it up there. It doesn't matter, doesn't have to be central. Okay, but I think I'd like it central. So you put in a little bit of glue on each edge. Okay. And then you're going, I'm just going to lift it up so my glue is not touching anything yet. I'm lining those score marks up with each other. I'm having a look top and bottom because I'd quite like mine fairly central. And then I'm just going to press and burnish, give that glue a chance to dry. And whilst that's just drying, I'll show you my sentiments. These are little cut out sentiments. I've backed them on mirror card and added some little gems. Okay, so we'll have to decide which one we're going to have while that glue dries. Which one shall we have? Seasonal wishes, blessed, winter celebrations, let it snow. Loads of options. So then when that's dry, you can fold it like so. Look at that, beautiful. And you've got those beautiful birds together there. Let's decide where we're having that. Shall I have it there? Or do I want it so you can see it when it pops out? I'm not sure. Do I want it there? Let's have a look. Quite like it there. Yes, I think I'm going to have it there actually, guys. Yep. You can always put more than one sentiment on if you wanted. Okay. Well, let me just double check, and then it's underneath this fold. So about there. And I don't want it on the bird's beak. I want to be able to see my bird. Let's have a look. Is that covered? Let's move it over ever so slightly more. And we've got ourselves a very, very, very pretty, quick and easy Christmas card. Okay, you could always put another sentiment there. You could put as many sentiments as you like. That looks nice, doesn't it? Put one there. Put one there. I think I'll just have the one, and I'll have to make some more. So there you go, beautifully decorated front and back. It's going to be nice and sturdy. It will fit in a 5x7 envelope. And don't tell me you don't have time to make your Christmas cards, because if I can do it, you can do it. Have we done it in 10 minutes? Not sure. Let's have a see. Thanks for joining me. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.